Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We're doing some reviews because um, something interesting I found compelling dropped. Normally, I do my whole intro and everything, but this is kind of a last minute thing I wasn't really planning for. So I was like, in the words of the co-host, Mr. Pop Culture PB, uh, I said, fuck it, we'll do it live. So here we are. Um, I'm actually going over the creator of Marvel Snap came out and gave some of his own deck ideas, and I thought uh, this would be interesting to look at, like see what the man himself, the person who created the game, what he plays, and how feasible it is for other players to play these decks. Now, some of them you might be able to put together the pieces of the deck. Some of it is very top tier, like you have to basically have all the cards in order to play it. What's up, Christine? How are you doing today? Uh, just doing some Marvel Snap, and I got something that just dropped today, so you can see in the what's up, Lemon Pie. Um, the creator of the game came out and gave his deck list. So I'm going to go over what the creator of this game that I really enjoy, what his cards are that he plays, or his top three decks. Now, this isn't to say he plays these decks regularly or he wins all the time with these, but these are his three favorite decks that he put together. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Hopefully it's entertaining, but I'm going to show you each deck and then I'm going to play it for you guys and kind of show you how it's supposed to be played. So, and I wasn't very creative because I literally just put this together when I found out the video dropped on the creator. For it was like an IGN video. So I was scrambling to do this stream on time and put these decks together because these aren't my original ideas. So I had to like find a deck list. So the first one I'm going to go over is called, well, this is his first one. It's called an Omega Red deck. This is actually a fairly popular deck in the meta. It's interesting to see the creator's take because his version actually is probably the best one I've seen. So you have Ant-Man, who I've said before, he's a great card. Advanced players have him. Uh, we don't need to look at Zod's hair. Yeah, no, you're not going to look at my hair today. Wearing a hat. So the first deck plays Ant-Man, who gains power from the cards. If you have full board space, he'll gain 3 power. He plays uh, Wutatu, which is very interesting because hardly anybody plays this card. But it's really interesting that he has this card because this card's ability is to let you see the abilities of the squares before they reveal themselves. So you play this on the first turn and you can see all the spots that are going to reveal, which actually is a good plan because this allows him to figure out which spot he's going to play all of his cards in that won't get shut down or um, you know break his combo. So actually, it's interesting. I haven't seen anyone use that card. Ebon Maw, very popular, especially in this deck. After turn 3, you can't use it, and wow, uh, he's in play. You can't put any cards in this spot. Then he has one of my favorite cards, Invisible Woman. This hides all of the cards. They will not be revealed until the end of the game. So this is meant to be a sneaky combo, and I'll show you why. He has armor so that you can protect your cards. The one cost cards won't be destroyed. Mr. Fantastic. Mr. Fantastic is a very good card. Normally you play him in the center and it says ongoing. Adjacent locations will have +2 power, but what makes this card interesting is you can play him on the right or the left. and wherever he's adjacent to, that will get +2 power. So the idea is you put Omega Red in the middle, and you put Mr. Fantastic on one of the two corners, and you power up the center of the board. Oh, that guy in the thumbnail is the creator, Husky. I'm using his decks today. These are decks that Ben Brode created and that he plays with. So we're going to take a look at them, and I'm going to play them live and see how they run. So we have the Punisher, one of my favorite cards. Um, yeah, he is the person who was, he formerly worked, I guess, or he worked on Hearthstone, but left that company, obvious reasons, and made this game. So it's a very good game, very free to play, friendly. Yes, Husky, it does have its transactions here and there, but everything about it, as far as being a player, is free. So, and you can play it on the PC. You should get this game on the PC, Husky. We could have Astros. Anyways, so Punisher. He's an ongoing. He gets +1 power for each opposing card. Namor. Namor gets +5 power when he is the only card on that space. And finally, what the deck is named for, Omega Red. Basically, you can't make this deck without this card. Well, you could, and I'll show you how, but this is the card that really makes everything come together. It is an ongoing card. If you're ahead by 10 power at that location, then all other locations get +4 power. So the idea is to have Omega Red, Iron Man, and like Invisible Woman on one spot. Then you can either use Onslaught to double their ongoing effects, or you can use Spectrum to give everything with an ongoing ability +2 power. And you basically make one spot super overpowered and win the other spot by 4 power plus whatever's already on the board. This is a really, really fascinating deck, and it's really interesting to see his take. And I'm going to show all the cards first instead of giving an explanation because I do have to go to work, so I don't want to be on here for too long. And my lovely lady has stuff to do in the morning, so I'm not going to hold her up streaming. You guys know, you never hold up a lady when she's doing morning stuff. It doesn't end well. So, deck number two. Deck number two is one of my favorites. And actually, it was an idea I was messing around with. But Ben seems to put it together better than I did. So thank you, Ben, because he put together a lot of the pieces that I wasn't thinking about when I created a deck similar to this. And he calls it the Butthead deck, which I thought was funny, but I didn't have time to put all the names down, so I'm just calling it Ben 2. This deck, the whole idea is to clog the opponent's board and also give their cards negative stats simultaneously. This is a very vicious, very this is a kind of deck that'll piss people off, basically. So what it does is you play things like Hood. He's -2. Now you're thinking, why do I want a -2 on my side of the board? Well, he combos with Viper, who on reveal, your opponent gains control of one of your cards. Now, normally that'd be a stupid thing. You'd be giving your opponent one of your cards, but when everything on your board gives them negative stats, that's where this really shines. So you play Viper, then play Hood, and now they have a -2 card, and they don't get the benefit of what you get, which is getting a +1 6 card. Everything in this deck is designed to fill your opponent's lanes with crap so they can't play any cards and give them negative stats. And with Black Widow, keep them from drawing. Because when she gets played, she flips and does a Widow's Bite, which means until they get rid of this card, they can't draw any cards. So this is like disruption and board space control. And I told you guys before, I like playing control decks. So this is very much a deck I liked the design a lot. Of course, you have the Nova Carnage combo, which Nova gives +1 to all the cards on the board when he's destroyed, and Carnage destroys cards in that lane. So, Hazmat, who's one of my favorite cards, when she is on the field, afflict all the cards with -1 power. This affects your side of the board too, but that's okay. You're not playing for big stats. You just want to give your opponent as many negative stats as possible. You have my favorite card, Green Goblin, which says on reveal, your opponent gains control of the card. It's -3 power. You have Debris, who adds rocks in each location when she is summoned. So you'll get a rock at a random location, and your opponent will get a rock. And see where I'm going with this? Everything is negative. You have Polaris to pull things out of certain spaces. You have my personal favorite, Spider Woman. She too afflicts all enemy cards in that location with -1 power, and she's a 5/7, so very powerful card. And of course, my favorite, Dr. Octopus. On reveal, pull 4 random cards from your opponent's hand onto this location. So this is normally a mixed bag. When you play this, you could pull cards to that location, and either they'll be cards they need, or they could be really powerful cards, and they could win that location from you doing it. So you got to be careful when you play this, and that's why it's at the end of the deck. You fill up their board with crap, and then you pull maybe 1 or 2 cards that they need, and you beat them because he has 10 power, which is pretty ridiculous for a 5-cost card. So the last deck, and the most interesting, and someone asked me, I believe it was the new member of our channel, Derek, he asked me about a deck with Beast. So or and collector. So here's a perfect collector deck that really puts him to use. And this is a deck in the meta that's been this meta was popular, not so much anymore. But I think if it's tweaked and stuff, you can make this deck really work. I'm gonna give you guys Ben's list, but I have my own list of how I would play this. But you have the Hood again. He really likes the Hood. Um, and he's good in this deck because you gain a 1/6 and you don't get the negative effect, and I'll show you why in a minute. You have Electra, who destroys a random 1-cost card where she's played. You have Agent 13, you just add a random card into your hand. You have Iceman, who gives a random card in your opponent's hand +1. This is really annoying. If people want to play a card, it's going to add 1 for them to play it. So you could take a card they needed to use early in the game and really fuck up their strategy with this. There's also Korg. Everybody loves Korg. And I believe he said Korg was one of his favorite cards for a good reason. Korg shuffles a rock in your hand. That's it. He's a rock. That's what he does. Black Widow again. The Collector, who, when a card enters your hand from anywhere except your own deck, he gains +1 power. So here are the 2 cards that make this work. Beast, who says, on reveal, return your cards at this location into your hand, and they cost 1 less, which means you take all of these 1 power cards that are in that lane, you return them with Beast, and they'll all cost 0 because they cost 1 less. Or if it's an Ironheart, it'll cost 2. If it's Nikita, it'll cost 2. If it's Brode, it'll cost 2. So it reduces these higher cards so they can be played more than once. And all these other cards get thrown back into your hand and cost 1 less. And Falcon. Falcon returns all of your 1-cost cards in your hand. So you could play these all out, return them with Falcon, play them all again. Play Beast, return them back into your hand. You have Ironheart, who gives all the cards +3. Nikita, who gives 2 of the most leftmost cards in your hand +2. And Debris, who adds rocks on both you and your opponent's side of the field. So once again, very disruption heavy. It uses a mechanic to get your cards back cheaper so you can continuously play the same cards over and over again, destroying your opponent's cards, interrupting their hand, throwing stuff in their hand that they don't need, uh, and still giving yourself power because you're going to face more powerful decks. So it's he's got a very interesting, and it's kind of funny because when I was watching this, he had an IGN interview when he was talking about this, and now everybody in the Marvel Snap community is doing videos on this. So that's why I'm bringing this up now. But when he was bringing these up, a lot of these decks are very good ideas, and I think Ben is a control player because his decks mirror a lot of what I try to do when I play. Um, except for the Omega Red, which is more of a just put as much power as you can on the board and then kill them at the end of the game. Sometimes I like that too, but it seems like he's more for controlling the board, and I think that that's pretty awesome because like he's the creator of the game. So I'm gonna go into a couple of games and test out his decks, and then yeah, if you're a player and you like these, you can give it a go. Fair warning: some of these decks, the cards are in the last pool. So I'm not going to go over the things to substitute them with. If you want to ask me some questions, you can go into my comments. I do answer the comments, and I'll let you know what cards you can swap out, except for Omega. Or no, it's not Omega. The Beast deck. That you either need Beast or you need Falcon, or that deck doesn't work. Um, Other than that, most of these can be swapped out for different uh, cards. So let's play the first one, which I creatively called Ben 1. And this deck is the one that I showed you. It's going to be the Omega Red deck. So we're going to go through and I'm going to pilot this. And keep in mind, it's weird playing somebody else's deck because I got a gist of how it's supposed to run, but that's the great thing about this game is that you could honestly probably even beat the creators decks because this is I mean, these are some commonly played decks. People were putting these together in the beta, so I mean it's cool to see the creators come out and play like their own kind of designs and see like how what they would put together as a player. I guess that to me is really cool. I think that that's kind of an awesome thing to do for the people in charge. So I didn't get my own Mega Red, so the question is going to be, how am I going to win? So my first play here is I'm going to put my armor on the most farthest left. I'm going to keep the center open to do the Omega Red combo. And I can't play anything in Sanctuary, but if I can get Omega Red, I can automatically win this by 4, unless he's playing Patriot. And then I just need to take one other spot. So, Iceman. As usual, I hate Iceman because of that. But it is a really good card. So New York, this is really good. New York, they'll move everything into this location. So let me see. I did not get the combo pieces I needed whatsoever. He's snapping, but I'm just going to hang back. I'm going to give power to these two center pieces right here. Oh, he has the same idea. Interesting. Okay. Let's see, turn 4. I'm not going to snap yet because I'm still not confident I can win this quite yet. I haven't got the pieces to come together. But I will play my Ant-Man and Watcher over here. That's very interesting. I don't know why he would want to protect that. And he just put all 4. I might actually win this. Shit, I was not expecting that. So the play here is I'm going to put Punisher in the center and use Spectrum over here just to kind of give my cards a bit more power. I love Punisher. I'm so glad to use him back in the deck again. If you guys don't know, I love Netflix Defender series, or just Defenders of New York, obviously, you know, from New York. So they're like, I love that superhero group. And it's so cool to see them used. This is interesting because I could boost this power and just win these 2 lanes. Maybe I'll do that. I'll use Onslaught and boost his ongoing abilities so they don't just get 2, they get 4. So that's what I'm going to do here. And that'll be 9 in the center here. So even if I don't win over here, I could win here because you can't put anything here. I'm going to get 8 for this if I win it. So here we go. Bam. Ooh. I lost because we tied all the zones. I'm feeling like I should have played Spectrum and gave everything +2. I don't know if that would have made a difference, but that was still a hell of a close game. That's a pretty good deck. We didn't get the Omega Red combo, so that's why that did not work out. Oh, and I'm level 36 on the ladder, so yeah, I've been doing some climbing on my own, just, just because. And thank you, everybody who is still watching or who's enjoying this content. Please give me a thumbs up, a like on the video, all that stuff. So, uh, that is the Omega Red deck. Um, uh, Let me see, how much time do I have? I don't want to take too much time on this. I'm probably only going to go for about an hour, so I'll do one more match with this, and then I'll go to the next deck, because I really didn't get to show you guys the Omega Red combo. Because as it happens in Snap, I just didn't get the card I needed. But this is a good deck, too. I almost tied without even Omega Red, so this is a really good deck. Once again, not going to play the first turn, not going to Snap, because I want my opponent to be guessing, kind of going, oh, does he have anything? Can he win? I want them, yeah, like, see, that's what I want. I want them to do, like 2 snaps, like, they're like, oh my goodness. Oh, see, Watatu let you know the location. So this is going to be a Savage Land. That is really inconvenient. So I think turn 3, I'm going to play Mr. Fantastic. I'll get 2 Raptors over here. So maybe I'll do... Yeah, I'll do Ant-Man over here and then just get the 2 Raptors. Oh, this works out good. So Ebon Maw is great to have on spots where Savage Land happens, and I have my Ant-Man. So I'm going to play him right here. Now, they could use, like, I don't know, Killmonger or something like that. That would screw that all up. But this is just a little bit of extra power. So, got this. Bam. Oof. 13 power. Oh, the Punisher play. That's pretty good. So I got 2 Atlantises, and I'm going to do a classic here. I'm going to put Namor over here, and then Mr. Fantastic in the middle. This is an old school play. Actually, Atlantis is Namor's actual location built for him. So he's 5 power. When he's the only one, he gains 5 power plus another 5 power. So 1 for the spot, 1 for the ability, 1 is he's just at 5 power. So This is perfect. We got Omega Red here, so I get to show you guys the Omega Red combo. So first, I'm going to play Mr. Fantastic. Then I'm going to play, actually, now I'm going to play Omega Red. Then I'm going to play Iron Man. And you know what? Just to get some extra power here, I'm going to play with Tattoo. And I'm going to snap because I definitely feel like I'm going to win this. So this is kind of the Omega Red power. And you're going to see I'm now going to be able to secure this by a lot. All right. You have a wonderful morning, I'm going to guess, Christine. Have a wonderful morning, and hopefully you enjoyed my tutorial. So this area is going to get 14. Oh boy. Uh-oh. I think he beat me here. Shit. Oh man, and he beat me by 1. I should have moved him over to here. I played that terrible, but you guys get the idea. So he gives +4. Evening. Okay, have a good evening, Christine. Uh, you get the idea. He gives like +4 to that. I'd have to play around to get really good with that deck, just because it's very particular in how it plays. So here is the next deck. This is the one that I really like. So this is like a very control-y deck, and all it does is clog the board with shit and give minus stats. It's basically fucking annoying from beginning to end. So you're very welcome, and thank you for joining me. Hopefully this wasn't, too boring. Hopefully you liked it. Okay, so uh, shit. I'm going to play Korg. And right away, what I'm doing is I'm giving the opponent stuff in their hand. The whole point of this deck is to be annoying. That's pretty much it. So I'm just going to wait. I don't care about Necros. I'm going to use Carnage anyways. And he doesn't care about Necros because he's going to use Carnage. This is Destruction, so he's going to use Carnage to destroy Bucky Barnes. But I'm going to save my Hazmat to give everything -1. So right now, at this current moment, I'm going to play Debris. And I'll play her over here just to have something in this before turn 4. This is really annoying for a destruction deck because they are planning to destroy shit. So right here, I'm going to play my Viper right away and send this back over there. And I'm going to play my Black Widow right here. See, I knew he was going to do that. Yeah, that was the destruction angle there. So I got a couple of different options here. I'm thinking I'm going to play Doc Ock over here and pull shit because uh, destruction decks are very particular. They want to destroy things in a certain point of the game. And this deck is perfect against destruction because this really fucks up their planning. So I'm going to use Doc Ock right away and just pull shit over to here that maybe he doesn't want to pull out yet. So he's got Devil Dino. That's fine. And he had to play the Black Widow. So now I'm pulling out stuff. Plus, that messes with his Devil Dino because Devil Dino knows cards in its hand. And I just destroyed it. I just completely ruined his whole plan right there. So now I'm going I'm actually going to do Spider-Woman right here. Because I can take the spot, or no, you know what? I'll do Spider-Woman over here. Because if he tries to get power up over in here, then I'll win it by an overwhelming amount. We'll tie here, which means I'll be at 13. You know what? No, I'm going to get power over in here because I really want to get power back in here and get ahead a little bit. So we tied 4-4, and he won by 18. But you get the gist of that. So that's a fun, neat little deck. I'm probably going to play around with that a lot more on ladder and make it really work for me. And then the last deck is the Beast deck, or the Bounce deck, as they like to call it. Come on, go all the way over. I don't know why this thing does not go all the way over. That really upsets me there. Oh, come on, you piece of shit. Okay, let me... Sorry, lost my call there. Okay, let me try this again. See, that really pisses me off because now I got to get rid of a deck to my... These are my two newest decks. I can always create Big Long again. That's okay. Okay. I hate the framing on this. So let me go over here. I gotta resize everything. This really annoys the shit out of me. Okay, so let's go over to the last deck. Number 3. This is the Bounce deck, and actually I do have some suggestions for this deck because I'm going to play it like his original build, but there's some better builds, which is kind of crazy. And it shows that even the creator doesn't have like the perfect deck list. And it really shows how balanced the game is. But anyways, so I'm going to do Iceman right away. Iceman is always fun to get out there and get a jump on the person. Oh, Jesus. Iceman to Iceman. Oh my god, this is why Iceman is like one of the most annoying combos ever. I'm going to throw Collector out there so that I can get the Beast Collector thing going. It's okay he made my Beast 3 because really I'm using Beast towards the end to gain all that power back. So I'm just going to throw them here because all the cards get +1 when I put them back out and have it. And that's fine. Do the Scorpion thing. Okay, now I'm going to play Debris. And then I'm going to use Beast on this space. Bring them all back and play in the mirror dimension. And then maybe use Ironheart. I think he's playing the same exact deck I am. Wow, that's a coincidence. Oh, and look, 2 Sanders. Wow, this is an odd game, folks. This is a really weird game. Like, this is the kind of game that doesn't really happen that often. I honestly don't know if I'm going to win, but I'm going to snap anyways because, you know. Okay, so here he goes with the Carnage combo. And now I'm going to play Debris again. I'm going to play Collector. I'm going to play Iceman, Falcon. Boom, for the win. Come on, raise me. Because this collector is going to get massive now. Because, like, that's fine. That's fine. Like, there was nothing there. And meanwhile, he's running out of spaces to use. Meanwhile, I'm just about to clear all of my spaces. Because all these rocks are going to go away. And I just gained all of that power. So, I will play Ironheart and Armor. Because, honestly, none of this other stuff is going to really help me out. I think I can win this. Or at the very least, my Ironheart can hit this rock over here. Nope. Or I could just power up that. Yeah, Storm's not really going to help them here. Even if they clear up that spot. It doesn't matter. They actually hurt them. That was a really good. I really liked that. Like, the concept is pretty sweet. Especially with those cards. Like, if I did this, I would tool it up to put, like, Bishop and Angela in there. That's what most bounce decks would run, just to have that extra power. But overall, this is a pretty neat deck to use. Very good for the beast bounce mechanic. So I think on the whole, I'm going to maybe replay that, but I'm going to show you guys the list that I would use. And you know what? Then if you ever see, dude, love your deck list. But this is my own personal preference, and this is the best part about Marvel Snap, is you can build your decks any way you want to and make them work. So a couple of things I would do with this bounce deck, and this is just a suggestion for anyone who has a bounce deck. And look, you don't need both these cards to make a deck like this. Pool 2, you can get Falcon. Beast, I believe, is Pool 3 or the beginning of Pool 3, so you have to wait for him, but it'll still work with Falcon. But first off, I would take out Elektra. Elektra's okay, but no, no one hardly really runs her anymore. And there's a second one I want to get rid of here. And I would take out Agent 13 because adding a random card to your hand is good for the collector combo. But I mean, you're adding cards by using the bounce back. You know what? No, I'm gonna keep Agent 13 in there. I'm actually going to get rid of. No, I like the Agent 13-ness combo. I like Korg, but I think I'm gonna just remove Korg from here because you're already hurting their hand with the Iceman. And you're clogging the board with the debris, so you don't need another one that just gives them rocks they have to play. You're using that with the Black Widow, which is more effective because she gives them a card they have to play or they can't draw. So the things I would add to this deck just to give it a little bit more oomph, because there's a lot more stronger decks that are out there that are running around. You got your negative decks, you got that fucking Thor deck running around. That uses Lockjaw and bounces continuously, and then they play Odin with the hammer. It's a nightmare. Okay, so this deck is going to have a hard time unless it stalls and kind of messes up that game plan, but also puts its own power on the board. And that's the only problem I have with this deck is there's not a lot of power being played, being that it's not disruption. It's not doing anything with the little power that's being played. People can still outplay you. So I would put in Angela. because Angela is a great. You can take these cards, and I believe I said bye, Christine. Hopefully you heard me. I think you did. You could take these cards, right? You can Angela can get +2, right, from all the cards you play. So you play her on 2, start playing your 1-drops. Now, what you can do is you can use Falcon to take all of the 1-drops away, which means that you can replay those back on the board, back on her spots again. She can get to like 20 power. It's ignorant. And this is the card that helps boost your power right here. Another good card that I'm going to play, and I would suggest for this deck too. And I've said this since I started playing this game. The Angela Bishop combo is one of the best, even with Bishop nerf, and even if they someday nerf Angela, this is still the greatest combo to have because he gains 1 power for all cards played. You can even play him in the same spot as Angela and still play 2 other cards, put them back in your hand, and then play 2 other ones. He's just a great like extra for those spots where you need power. You could play him with Collector if Collector's not getting enough power, and gain power from the cards dropped and power from the cards that have put back into your hand. So I would 100% use these 2 as substitutions, because then what you can do is you can still do the same idea that the deck has, right? Use these 1 cost as more efficient drops, right? Because you can play Collector, play Agent 13. Collector gets power from cards that weren't in your hand being placed in there. And I would almost take out Nakia too, because I don't like Nakia's ability. I don't think it's very effective. So I would almost take her out and put in Shang-Chi. And why I suggest this playlist is because now you have more options. You're still essentially doing the same thing. You just really added 4, right? So you can still have the same combos. You still have 5 and 6 to really play around with your turns, right? Turn 2, you play Collector or your Angela, right? Turn 3, you play your Bishop. And then by 4, you can either Falcon or whatever you have out there, right? Or Beast. And then 5, you should start setting stuff back up again. Or if you haven't set up all your 1-drops, turn 5, drop all your 1s in your hand. And your Black Widow, anything else, right? And then by turn 5 or 6, bring them all back with Falcon. It all depends on the combo you got. So I'll kind of show you how it works. And of course, Shang-Chi is for the power cards. This protects you from like the infinites or cards that gain too much power. It gives you a little bit more of a defense. Otherwise, there's a lot of these bigger decks that are just going to run you over. Like Thor gets crazy big. Well, now you don't have a way to defend yourself. Someone drops an infinite for 20 power. You have nothing to destroy it. Someone does a combo where their cards are 8 or 9 in a lane, right? You got a couple of cards that are 9 power or the Omega power, right? And you got nothing to defend yourself. So Shang-Chi is really good to have in a deck like this because he could be that wild card you play at the end and you just mess up the power in that lane. And then even if you don't get that much power, you can still pull it out. So I'm going to try with my build and see how it feels. But I really do like his build because he played a lot on the 1-drop angle. So a lot, but Falcon is great, especially for these decks running around that put like rocks and shit on your hand. So this person's playing like a Collector variant, and I just got Leader. This is actually an interesting card to get for this deck. I did think about putting a Leader in the deck, but that's kind of not how this deck works. So didn't really play him there. But anyways, so I've got this going on. I still haven't drawn into my Falcon, but I can still play my run drops. And if I can, my Falcon can come out later. But I always try to play Iceman as soon as possible because you really want to annoy your opponent with them not being able to play certain stuff. Shuri's Lab. I really enjoy this, actually, because it doubles the power of cards on that space. So I'm going to play Debris, and then I'm going to play Ironheart. Then I'm going to use Beast and bounce them both back into my hand and play them again. So he's going for destruction. Anytime someone plays Bucky Barnes, but I wrecked his day because he was going to use Carnage to get that, but now that ain't happening. I don't think so, Jack. So I'm going to play Ironheart right here because I want to bounce that back with Beast. Now that was good. Killmonger just totally ruined my day because I had him jammed up. That's fine. And this is what I said about Shang-Chi, right? See how this devil dinosaur is kind of getting out of control? I'm going to deal with him, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. I'm going to use Beast right here. Or no. I'll play Hood. So I'm going to play Hood in this spot, then Collector, because I'm going to use Beast and put all the power over here. And then I'm going to use Shang-Chi at the end on this spot and destroy Devil Dinosaur. I knew they were going to Carnage over there. It was like a matter of time. My rock just slowed down their ability to do that, but I knew that was going to fucking happen. So I'm going to Shang-Chi over here. I'm going to Debris over here. Well, no, maybe I do the Debris here. Yeah. And I could even do Shang-Chi, or, well, no, there's no point in putting this over here because it's not going to help. Moon Girls. Yep, see? They're going for the Devil Dino play. Bam. Dead. So once again, I tie on a spot, but that's the general idea: is to bounce it back and then gain the power. That turn I didn't draw into my Angel or Bishop, so that was a bit of a rough hand. But even with a rough hand, I could have conceivably won some of that stuff. Let me see, what time is it? Yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here at 1, so I'll do one more. Deck climb or ladder climb. So that was Ben's deck. If you want to go see the deck tech again, where I describe what the decks do and the 3 decks that I made, go check them out. It's pretty cool. Now I'm going to show you guys 2 decks that I've been working on myself. The first one is really one of my favorite cards in the game. I'm not going to lie. Kingpin. So this is a Daredevil, Kingpin, Miles Morales, like, kind of a deck. So what this deck does, I call it the King of the City. And the deck is designed on the move, but not you moving. You moving your opponent's cards. I hate move decks. I think they're very inefficient. Like, they're not bad cards per se, but the whole mechanic is flawed because it's based on the theory that you have to win the the farthest left squares, and it's not always practical. With these pieces, you move your opponents where you want them to move until you drop your your big winner cards. So the two, I'd say the two key cards out of this, at least for me, is Craven, who whenever a card moves to where he's at, he gains 2 powers. This gets super big, super fast. And of course, Kingpin. Kingpin reads, when this card moves here on turn 6, destroy it. This is another way where Invisible Woman comes in handy. You play Invisible Woman and you play Kingpin in the Invisible Woman spot. You play them about, I'd say, turn 4. Play Arrow turn 5. Or no, play Kingpin turn 5, Arrow turn 6. So what's going to happen is he's going to flip over. Arrow is going to move all of the enemy cards that were played to the location where he's at. Of course, there's Magneto, who just pulls the opposing 3 and 4 cross cards to this location. And Daredevil. Daredevil, as I said, is one of my favorite cards because of his prediction ability, which states, on turn 5, you get to see where your opponent plays before you make your own. So it essentially forces your opponent to play the turn first. I love this to set up my Kingpin combo because it lets me know exactly where the opponent is going to put a card so that I can put my Kingpin in the opposite place and pull their card towards it. So basically, I play Daredevil on turn 4, Kingpin on turn 5, so that way he gets his thing on turn 6. And then Arrow or Magneto. And what you can do is you could play a card that moves the other cards on that turn, so that, because what people do is try to fill the lane so that you can't use Kingpin. So it's really cool to have like a Daredevil kind of option where you scout out ahead before you make your move. But this was working really well for me the last couple of nights. I climbed really far. The best part about this deck too is that I do not need um, the Kingpin to make this work. Really, the big components are like Craven, a well-placed Magneto. There's a lot of different ways to win this. So right here, oh, they're playing the Quinjet deck. That's interesting. Oh, this is a pain because this bounces cards back into your hand, Luke Spar. I'm going to play Craven over here and hope that whatever is here is in a crappy location. I can also move Nightcrawler into Luke's bar because I don't think he bounces them. I mean, I've never tried it though, so I'm not particularly sure. Luke's bar is just one of those locations to me that's just a terrible location. I absolutely hate it. I'm going to play this, and I'll play Polaris here because all this is going to do is I can still move a card over here and she'll come back into my hand, so it's not really a wasted turn. Nope, she got kicked back. Another Nightcrawler? Are you shitting me? That is hilarious. So I got another Nightcrawler. I'm going to move him here because I just want to see if that card gets bounced back into my hand, put by Daredevil here. No, he doesn't. So it only bounces a card you play. That's very good to know. And so I kind of just want to see what he's going to play right here. I might move the Khazar over to here, assuming he's not playing 2 cards over here, because it's very conceivable. He's playing a zoo deck, so he wants to try to load the whole field with cards. Wow, he's taking an unusually long time. Oh, he's playing with Tatu. Yeah, he's trying to get a bunch of 1-cost cards and load them into his hand. So I'm going to use Juggernaut here and knock him right out of there. That means it'll flip over here. Or no, he'll just get moved, but that's fine. And then I think I'm going to play Magneto right here, because that'll pull this Kazaa over here. Actually, no, I'm going to play him over here so he doesn't get... Because I have a feeling he's going to still try to play in Savage Lands. That's where he was originally trying to play. Ah, the Ultron, yep, and then he's got all the +1s. But that's the general gist of this deck. That was really bad placement, and that's one of my issues with this deck, is that really bad placement will really ruin a game for me. I may change it up a tad bit and maybe put in like oh yeah, my Scarlet Witch is right there. That was just a bad game. That happens. So that's why I have the Scarlet Witch there. Normally I would change the location like that, but I just didn't get anything. And negative play. Uh, a Doctor or a Mr. Negative deck. Mr. Negative is in a bad spot. He doesn't get played too much. But I got a deck here that kind of utilizes him in a way where you can kind of play him again, which is a fun little thing. I might go into that later during my ladder climbs. So, uh, anyways, that's pretty much it. I wanted to highlight what the creator came out, give you guys all the deck list. I got to go to work soon, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this little deck highlight. Hey, Carrie, good to see you. Um, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck highlight. And just kind of going over what the creator of Marvel Snap plays. And I got to be honest with you, I liked a lot of his decks, except for the third one. I kind of modified myself. You saw my version of the deck. Um, I understood what he was going for, but a lot of the cards I didn't like how they were used because that deck doesn't offer good defense. He did state in the video it was a work in progress, so he hasn't put the pieces together. But it's just kind of cool to see the creator of the game come out and be like, "Hey guys, this is what I'm gonna use when I'm playing the game I created." And the funny part is that third deck for the creator of the game building it was kind of weak. So uh, I find that really hilarious. But it's just cool to see uh, game creators who have fun and play their own game. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I got to go to work. Duty calls. Um, but uh, but yeah, in the comments, let me know what you think. Did you get anything out of this? What decks are you running? I am going to do another deck tech for Mr. Derek who messaged me. I just haven't had time because I've been a little bit busy, but I've been working on your deck ideas, dude. So I'm working on the card list that you sent me, and I'll get back to you. Uh, I just had to cover this because this was some fresh stuff. Join me on Friday. I got a lot of stuff to talk about on Late Night Talks. I got a lot to say. A bunch of different articles came out that I'm going to be covering on my channel, General Zod's Fandom Zone. So check that out because I got some Alec Baldwin news, a Baldwin update, uh, and a couple of other things on the side of Disney and things like that. And, you know, normal shit we talk about. You get to see Pop Culture PV and Husky. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Check out my deck techs. And if you are playing Marble Snap and you're enjoying this content, let me know. Interact with me. Give me your ideas. Tell me your favorite decks. All that good shit. And I will talk to you guys later. As always, oh wait, I'm not on in the Phantom Zone. Uh, Never mind. Wakanda forever.